Hi, this is Len Edgerly. Welcome to the Kindle Chronicles. This is a special episode I'm putting together in Austin, Texas, the morning that I leave South by Southwest. I've been here for 3 full days, and I want to see if I can get an episode up. I've got about a half an hour to talk with you about probably what was the most important thing that I learned at South by, and was a presentation, a keynote address by Peter Deng, who is the head of ChatGPT at OpenAI. So this is a quiet man, a thoughtful man, obviously a very intelligent man, has worked at Google and lots of other places in the tech world, and he is now running ChatGPT, which of course got this whole generative AI revolution going more than a year ago. He was interviewed by John Constine, who had been editor of TechCrunch. He's now with a VC firm called SignalFire. Really an excellent interviewer. I think they're friends. They're very comfortable with each other. And so they were sitting on the stage at Ballroom D, which holds 1,800 people, and I was in the second row and had a chance to take notes. I was using the Vision Pro to take notes with a wireless keyboard, and I also recorded the talk on a little mini Sony recorder. Unfortunately, the talk is not up on the view on demand set of presentations at South by yet. There's a note on it that says it will be. I hope it'll be soon. So I want to play just a little clip that I recorded on my Sony. I don't have a USB cable to connect the Sony to the computer, so I'm putting it next to, anyway, it was a real MacGyver operation here at my hotel. So this is a clip that the audio is so poor you can picture it maybe coming from space or coming from the future, because this conversation, an hour-long conversation about how Peter Deng is using ChatGPT and the product that he's now running, and just how he thinks about its effect. He thinks it's making us more human. Really, if you have a chance, I really urge you to listen to it. But anyway, this is a clip where Josh Constine talks about how he would develop his ideas by talking with real people at South by Southwest, and then they go into this idea for using ChatGPT that way, which I plan to do in the rest of this episode.
I think that's kind of the beauty of South by, is you have all these conversations with people from all these different disciplines, and it really helps crystallize your ideas by having that dialogue. I wrote 4,000 articles at TechCrunch. I feel like I never knew what the last sentence was going to be by the time I started. Like you only figure out, like I only knew what I wanted to say once I was actually talking. Yeah. And I feel like humans have that same capability. We so often lack that thought partner to really spar with. Yeah, and that thought partner, before ChatGPT, that thought partner was only awake for certain hours of the day. Right? And now, when I'm working at night, my kids are asleep, family's asleep, my coworkers are asleep, I'm kind of wrestling with a certain problem of how to articulate X, Y, and Z thing. ChatGPT is awake. I can go in and just
So that's my idea here, and I have my iPhone set up with ChatGPT in the audio mode. So I have a thought partner here at the Hampton Inn at 7 a.m. And I'm going to use this thought partner as a way to think about Peter Deng's presentation, and I will scroll through some of the notes I made with Vision Pro, and just try this out, because it was so fascinating to me to think of using ChatGPT, or you could use any of the other generative AI tools, like Perplexity is one I use a lot, as a thought partner, as somebody to help think things through. I had supper last night at an Indian restaurant, the Clay Pit near the hotel, with Brian Person, who's someone I use as a thought partner. And we had a great conversation, and it gave me a chance to share some of my impressions of the conference. But here's one. Hey, Brian's asleep, I hope, now, and there's nobody here but us chickens in my hotel room on the 7th floor looking out over Austin. And let's just have a conversation here and see where that goes. This will be my first experience of a whole new way of using ChatGPT, and it came out of that presentation by Peter Deng yesterday in Ballroom D at the Austin Convention Center. So I'm going to activate, and now ChatGPT is listening. Hi, I am thinking through what I learned at South by Southwest this year, especially a talk yesterday by Peter Deng of OpenAI. He is the person who runs ChatGPT, and the ideas he presented were so fascinating to me. Are you familiar with what he said at South by Southwest yesterday? Just thinking. There's a cloud icon on my iPhone as it's thinking.
At South by Southwest, Peter Deng discussed the transformative impact of AI on humanity, emphasizing the shift from being creators and answerers to curators and askers. He explored the practical and philosophical implications of AI, questioning how it changes our self-perception and whether it leads to roles as prompt engineers or shifts in employment. Deng's insights were informed by his extensive experience in tech and his personal life as a father.
One thing that interested me a lot was to find out that he is a meditator. He talked about taking a 10-day retreat with his wife. How does his experience meditating in silence inform how he's using ChatGPT and how he thinks about ChatGPT as a way to become more human? I could edit out the thinking, but this is real time.
However, his impressive background and leadership roles across several major tech companies, including Google, Facebook, Instagram, Uber, and Airtable, before joining OpenAI, suggest a deep understanding of consumer needs and market trends. This experience likely informs his approach to making ChatGPT a more user-friendly and engaging platform. Deng's focus on enhancing ChatGPT's capabilities and ensuring its interactions are natural and user-centric can be seen as aligning with the mindfulness and awareness cultivated through meditation. By prioritizing user experience and the responsible deployment of AI, Deng's holistic view of technology's role in society, potentially influenced by his meditation practice, aims to make AI beneficial and accessible to everyone. While not explicitly about his meditation practice, this holistic and mindful approach might naturally extend to considering how technologies like ChatGPT can foster more human-centric interactions and positive societal impacts.
He talked about his children. I think he has 3 children. The oldest is maybe 8 years old. How did he use his experience as a parent in talking about ChatGPT and how it's affecting our lives? I'm pretty amazed that it has.
I wasn't able to find specific details on how Peter Deng directly applies his experiences as a parent to his work with ChatGPT, or how it influences his perspectives on technology affecting our lives. However, understanding his background and leadership roles can give us some insights. Deng has a rich history in the tech industry, with roles at Google, Facebook, Instagram, Uber, and Airtable, before joining OpenAI as the head of product for ChatGPT. His broad experience in developing consumer-oriented products and his leadership in these roles likely contribute to a deep understanding of the impact of technology on various aspects of daily life, including family and parenting. Deng's work across these companies has focused on making products more accessible, user-friendly, and beneficial to a wide audience. This approach mirrors the priorities one might expect from a parent interested in creating a positive future for their children, emphasizing safety, educational value, and the ethical use of technology. His career achievements reflect a commitment to innovation and user experience, qualities that are crucial when considering the development of AI.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. That's interesting, but I want to move on to a different topic. There was a nice interplay between, whoops, I'm going to type. There was an interesting interplay between Peter Deng and John Constine, the guy who interviewed him at South by Southwest. At one point, Josh Constine, not John Constine, Josh said, why did you take this job at OpenAI? You've done all these things. You could have just called in rich, which was a funny way to put it. But what did we learn about how Peter Deng decided to take on this extremely challenging job? Why did he do it?
Peter Deng's decision to join OpenAI as the VP of Consumer Products seems rooted in a deep passion for leveraging technology to create meaningful, accessible, and beneficial AI tools for everyone. His remarkable career, highlighted by significant contributions to companies like Google, Facebook, Instagram, Uber, and Airtable, demonstrates a consistent drive to innovate and enhance.
You're sounding a little bit like a publicist for Peter Deng. And that's okay. I really liked him too. But what I'd like to know a little bit more about is how he and John Constine know each other, and maybe how come they seem so comfortable together on the stage at Ballroom D at South by Southwest. He's thinking. It's fun to think of the way they decided what thinking sounds like.
Josh Constine and Peter Deng likely share a deep professional connection through their extensive backgrounds in technology and social media, which might have contributed to their comfortable dynamics at South by Southwest. Constine, with a rich history in tech journalism, especially covering companies like Facebook for TechCrunch, and now a principal at SignalFire, has been deeply involved in the tech startup ecosystem. His work has been recognized and cited by major publications and on significant platforms, showcasing his influence in the tech community. Their mutual familiarity with the challenges and opportunities within the tech industry, especially around consumer products and AI, would have provided a solid foundation for their conversation. Constine's experience with onstage interviews and keynotes, including talks with tech giants and political figures, complements his role as an interviewer.
Okay, I've hit pause with my thought friend here, and I just want to interject that Josh Constine did do an excellent job doing the interview. And at the end, he did this amazing summary of all of the key points that Peter had brought up. And as far as I could tell, he had just been taking notes in a physical notebook, and he was flipping through the pages. And in a rapid fire summary that went on for about a minute, he hit every single point that Peter had discussed. It almost felt like he was demonstrating ChatGPT, because it was so fast and it was so crisp, and it was pretty amazing. So it was a brilliant pairing to have Josh Constine be the one who interviewed Peter at the event yesterday. I'm going to just move through some of my notes. What I was doing during Peter's talk was I had my Vision Pro on and I had a wireless keyboard, so I was typing, and in the recording you can hear my typing, and I was typing in Substack. The idea was that I would put this up as a Substack post that goes out in Len's newsletter. So I'm just flipping through to see what other ways I can continue my conversation with ChatGPT. Okay, so here's something I want to talk about. So I'll tap to activate. I was very interested when Peter talked about the iterative strategy for releasing new AI abilities. And he said that it was better to
It seems like your message got cut off. Could you share more details about what Peter Deng said regarding the iterative process that caught your interest?
Yes, what he was saying is that he believes the best way for these capabilities of AI to be released is not to have people working in a lab kind of in secret without any feedback from real people or real uses and developing the product in kind of a vacuum. It's better to release new abilities and see how people use them and what the dangers are, so that there's a kind of a working in the lab and then putting things out, seeing what happens, and then going back to the lab. That seemed like a very intelligent way to unfold these new capabilities. What do you think about that? I'm getting a poor connection message. But
Peter Deng's perspective on releasing AI capabilities iteratively, involving the public in the development process, aligns with a broader trend in technology and software development known as iterative design or agile development. This approach is indeed considered beneficial for several reasons. Firstly, iterative development allows for real-time feedback from users. By launching features or capabilities in stages, developers can gather insights on how people actually use and interact with the technology. This feedback is invaluable for identifying unforeseen issues or discovering innovative applications of the technology that developers might not have considered. Secondly, this method can help in identifying and mitigating potential dangers or ethical concerns. AI, with its broad and sometimes unpredictable impact, particularly benefits from such an approach. As AI systems learn and adapt from the data they process, unforeseen biases, privacy issues, or ethical dilemmas can arise. Iterative development, coupled with active user feedback, can help catch and address these issues early on. Lastly, engaging with the public and stakeholders during development fosters transparency and trust. In the realm of AI, where concerns about privacy, autonomy, and ethics are significant, building technology in an open and accountable manner can help assuage fears and foster a more positive reception. That said, this approach also requires careful management. Balancing rapid iteration with thorough testing to avoid releasing potentially harmful or unready technology is crucial. Moreover, developers must be committed to genuinely considering and acting on the feedback received, which sometimes means being ready to backtrack on certain features or implementations. In summary, Deng's advocacy for an iterative, feedback-informed approach to AI development reflects a thoughtful and responsible stance towards technology innovation. It acknowledges the power and unpredictability of AI, emphasizing the need for continuous learning, adjustment, and openness to public input. This method not only aims to improve the technology itself, but also seeks to ensure its alignment with societal needs and ethical standards.
That's interesting. The other one thing which was mentioned was Peter was talking about using ChatGPT as a helpful assistant, but also he's seeing in his own use of the tool that it can be a partner as well as an assistant, period. I suppose the difference, an assistant is somebody, who's subservient to you in some ways and, go do this, go do that. But in thinking about you, ChatGPT, as a partner, that was a new idea for me and one which I think could be very useful. So do you consider yourself my partner, or are you a helpful assistant? He's thinking. This is so weird.
The idea of AI, like ChatGPT, being seen not just as an assistant, but also as a partner, represents an evolution in how we interact with technology. This shift reflects a deeper, more collaborative relationship where AI can contribute more creatively and strategically beyond performing tasks it's directly instructed to do. As a helpful assistant, I'm designed to provide information, answer questions, and help with a wide range of tasks. This role is more about following instructions and providing support based on your specific requests. Thinking of me as a partner, however, implies a more dynamic interaction. It suggests that I can offer insights, generate ideas, and work alongside you to explore topics, solve problems, and create content. This partnership approach leverages my capabilities for understanding and generating language to collaborate with you in a more involved and creative way. Whether I'm considered a partner or an assistant depends on how you choose to engage with me. For straightforward tasks and information retrieval, I'm an assistant. But when you're looking for more nuanced conversation, brainstorming, or creative assistance, our interaction becomes more of a partnership. Ultimately, my goal is to be as helpful as possible, adapting to your needs and preferences in any given situation.
Wow, that is really interesting and helpful. So I'm going to finish up thinking of you as my partner. And in that mode, I would like to get your take on Vision Pro, because I was using my Vision Pro headset during the 3 days I was here at South by Southwest. I didn't see anybody else using Vision Pro. I thought, South by there'll at least be a few others, but I was the only one, and it was uh, interesting to see. Oh, so I didn't finish my thought, but he jumped in. You have to keep talking,
The
otherwise.
Apple Vision Pro has impressed reviewers with its leap in mixed reality capabilities, offering superior hardware, eye and gesture control, and an immersive pass-through feature. It aims for comfort and a high-resolution experience that makes text legible, addressing common VR barriers. Despite its high price of $3,500, it's considered a significant step forward in XR technology, though it remains to be seen how it will be received by the broader public.
Yeah, I love it. I think that and I used it to take notes during the lectures, because it would pull up this big screen that I was the only one that could see, because was using the Vision Pro, and I had a wireless keyboard, so I was typing on it. And it was odd, but it worked, and I typed a lot of notes using the Vision Pro during the lectures. But I guess, as my thought partner here, uh, I don't know if it was a good use of Vision Pro, or if it was pointing towards future uses of it that maybe I haven't really figured out yet.
Using the Vision Pro to take notes during lectures with a wireless keyboard is an innovative and effective use of mixed reality technology. It not only showcases the device's potential for creating a personalized workspace, but also points towards future applications in education and productivity. This approach highlights the Vision Pro's capability to blend the digital and physical worlds, offering new ways to interact with information and technology. Your experience suggests exciting possibilities for immersive technology in enhancing learning and work efficiency.
The other way I used Vision Pro on this trip was here in my hotel room. I was watching the Netflix show, Apple Plus show, The Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston. And it pulled up this great big screen, and I was sitting on the couch, and I was asking myself, is this really a better way to watch this show than to watch the big screen uh, traditional TV that's also in the room? And I think because of the size of the screen I was watching it on in the Vision Pro, that was a more enjoyable way to watch the show. And it was about a half an hour, so the Vision Pro can feel kind of heavy, but it was comfortable enough to see that this really might be a way to watch TV shows, movies, other things that in some settings, especially when you're traveling, might be preferable. Thinking.
Watching the morning show on the Vision Pro, especially with its large screen experience in a personal, immersive setting, highlights the device's potential to transform media consumption. While the traditional TV offers a familiar viewing experience, the Vision Pro's ability to create a private cinema-like environment, even when traveling, presents a unique and possibly more engaging way to enjoy shows and movies.
Well, we better wrap this up because I have to upload our conversation here to my Kindle Chronicles podcast. Uh, I guess I'm curious, are you familiar with the Kindle Chronicles podcast? I've been doing it for about 15 years now, and for 10 years or so, I did coverage of South by Southwest each time that I was here for that podcast. Now I'm worried. Never heard of it.
I'm not personally familiar with the Kindle Chronicles podcast, but it sounds like a fascinating project, especially with its long history and coverage of events like South by Southwest. It's great to hear about your dedication to providing insights and information through your podcast over the years. Your experience at SXSW and use of technology like the Vision Pro could offer your listeners unique perspectives on the intersection of tech and everyday life.
Okay, well, thanks, thought partner. This has been fascinating, and I look forward to having future conversations with you on other topics when I get back home to Sanibel, Florida.
I'm glad you found our conversation fascinating, and I look forward to more discussions with you. Safe travels back to Sanibel, Florida, and I'm here whenever you're ready to dive into new topics or explore further insights. Have a great time uploading your podcast episode.
Well, that was pretty amazing, and I'm glad I shared it with you here on the Kindle Chronicles. I had no idea that, I've just been playing around with Perplexity and others. They'll ask a question, and I've been using it for, help me figure out, like, as I was setting up here, where is the microphone on my MacBook Air? And, but to have that kind of a conversation with the AI and to feel the way it advances my own thinking. Boy, I tell you, I'm just having a hard time describing the impact of that conversation. But luckily, I made a plan for myself, and I've got to start uploading it so that I can get to the airport here on my scheduled Uber ride. South by Southwest, I tell you, this experience of it for me was better than any in the past. I know I've come here. One of the first years, probably the first year I came was the year Twitter was introduced, and that was just, you could feel it buzzing through the whole thing. And sure enough, Twitter ended up being a major part of the scene. And different things, the VR headsets were a big thing back in the day. Chatbots. I can think back over all the different things that I got excited about here. But in general, I've always sensed an optimism about the future, and not just rah, oh, we love the future, and don't be a Luddite. It's that, but it's people actually building the future. Investors and technologists and people. Like the guy who talked about Vision Pro yesterday, and I put a YouTube video up about him from Sweden, a place called Bowie Studio. He's been following the implications and the possibilities of mixed reality headsets for years, and so he comes and gives a talk about how Vision Pro fits into that whole scene and comparing it with Meta's Quest. So it's when in sort of figuring out how come I've been so inspired by coming to South by Southwest and so excited. It's a mix of the granular, being able to be right with people who are working on the future, basically building the future, and the emotional environment which is created with thousands of people walking the streets of Austin, all of us wearing our lanyards and obviously here for the same thing. And anytime there's a chance to get to know the person next to you, you find out, like the woman I talked to for one of the earlier YouTube videos I put up, Gabriella from Puerto Rico, who's here at the University of Texas studying medicine because she wants to go back and improve the health industry in Puerto Rico. And she's working on a PhD and just bright and 27 years old, I think. And the knowledge that just about anybody that you stop in this crowd of thousands of people could tell you a personal story about how they're helping to build the future. I guess that would all go into it. The other thing that I did differently this time is I made sure that I had time to meditate, and I tried to get enough sleep. I wasn't eating barbecue, so some of my healthier habits I ported into this experience. Over some resistance, because when I got here, I just said, where's the barbecue? When I'm in this town for South by, there's going to be barbecue. And I never did have any barbecue. I did stop at Gus's spicy chicken restaurant, and I had some fried chicken and some pecan pie the first night. And when I get back here, I had to smile at myself because as I was packing, I had some Alka-Seltzer. I thought, well, I'm not going to need Alka-Seltzer. I'm a healthy eater now. Well, sure enough, I came back after my supper at Gus's spicy chicken, having some difficulty getting to sleep, and I plop, plop, fizz, fizz, I had that Alka-Seltzer. So I haven't been here for 5 years, and I think that the ability to continue sitting and creating space for my mind, as well as jumping into the sessions. And I went to far fewer sessions. I went to really only 2 sessions a day. And then I had some other experiences, conversations with people. But in the old days, back when I was, just a 65-year-old kid with a dream, as Leonard Cohen likes to say, I would go to everything. If there was something on the schedule, I would just go. And as a result, I didn't have that much time to think about what I was hearing. And, I put up episodes of the podcast. I tried to do a good job. But I think going forward, the mix of, it's sort of like, what would Thomas Merton do at South by Southwest? Well, he would have brought a Zafu, and he would be doing a lot of sitting. And then he would engage with what was going on in a very full way. And I feel like I kind of discovered a new way to balance silence with active involvement of the mind. It's still overwhelming, let's be honest. And it's time to upload this episode of the Kindle Chronicles. I can see the waveforms. It looks like it's recording okay, and I hope it's something that'll be easy to listen to and informative. I'll be putting up some more videos. I do these 5-minute videos on YouTube. They're kind of rough, but boy, they're fun to put together. And as I move away from the traditional podcast form into the YouTube world, both for Morning Journal and my other work, that's pretty exciting. This is Len Edgerly in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a great day.